this is a season, no matter many different traditions, where people are giving and people are receiving, but it's also a good topic for any time in your life because we are constantly giving and receiving, right? And so we're going to talk a little bit about what does it mean to give and receive consciously at a very high level of consciousness rather than maybe the way we're currently doing it. So one of the things that people say that the meaning of Christmas, and probably they say it about Hanukkah as well, and maybe Kwanzaa, whatever, that it's not about giving gifts. And we all go, yeah, it's really not. It's not. It's about giving love. It's about being with our family. And then we go out and buy gifts. Right? Yeah. And we think that's a nice sentiment, but I'm still going to buy gifts. And there's nothing wrong with buying gifts, of course. And, you know, really the giving and receiving are connected. And we're going to talk more about that. But there's a scientific principle. Hello, here I am now. That says that you can only take in as much as there's room to take in. So in order to take in, you've got to let some out. If you imagine like a balloon, and it's full of air or helium, and it's at the point of bursting, you can't put any more air or helium in there or it's just going to explode. So you've got to let some of the air and the helium out. The balloon has to give it out before it can receive some more. And that's the same with our spiritual principle of reciprocity, or what's that other one I just lost in my head? Cause and effect, okay? But the law, it's more the law of reciprocity. When you give out, it comes back to you. So it's a principle in the spiritual realm as well as in the physical realm. And even Jesus said, give and it shall be given unto you. So when we're giving, the question is, how are we giving? You know, are we giving because we feel like we should give, because everybody's always given things? Are we giving only gifts? Are we giving of ourselves? What's the way to give in a way that it comes back to you, not the exact same gift, of course, but whatever it is that you really want in your life. So there's really no problem with giving gifts. We just want to be conscious when we're giving it. And doing it from a higher place, and the other thing that happens too is we sometimes don't allow the receiving. So we give, but we don't allow the receiving. So we're going to talk about how do we do that? How do we receive as well as give? Because again, they're tied together. And so I want you to think about what do you really, really want in your life? What would you like more of in your life? And are you willing to give that out in the world? You know, oftentimes if we need more love and we're not feeling loved, then we don't give love. Yet that's actually what will bring love into us, is by giving out the same that we wish to receive. And, you know, and it doesn't have to be love, it doesn't have to be anything in particular, but how are you giving it when you give it? And I remember one year I had, and I'm one of those people, I love to give gifts, and I love to give lots of gifts. And I love to see the joy on people's faces when they receive them, or I love to hear, if I'm not there, how they love their gift and stuff. But one year, I was a single mom with 5 kids, and I think at this point, some of the kids were out of the house, but we were all together for Christmas, and I had probably $50, 5 kids, $50 to spend on Christmas, right? That was all there was in the budget. And so I thought, well, what is it I would have wanted if I were them in my life at that time, or even right then at that point. And I realized that I never felt like my parents really got me, like they really appreciated me, or really, you know, just told me how proud they were of me. So I decided that what I was going to do is I went to Michael's and I got these big frames, like what you would put a prom picture in, you know, those big kind of frames. And I wrote each one of them a personal letter as to what I thought of them, how I felt about them, how proud I was of them, talked about what was their uniqueness in our family. And I put that letter in there, and then I decorated the whole thing with you know, something that represented them. My daughters were dancing at the time, so I did a dance theme, and my son was into football, so I did a football theme, you know, so I decorated it, and I let them know when I gave them, this is what my budget had, and I hope you all appreciate it. And they all loved it, absolutely loved it. I didn't let them share them with each other, because I didn't want anybody going, she didn't say that about me, or, you know, she loves him more than her, or whatever. So, but one of my sons, my youngest son, he left it on his table in his living room for 2 years to let all of his friends and other people that came in. So I knew it meant a lot to him. And it wasn't, you know, and so it was really where I was coming from when I was giving it, not the actual gift itself that meant something to them. So I want you to take a moment right now. I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to have you close your eyes in a second. And I want you to take a look inside yourself and see, what is it you really want more of in your life? Do you want more love? Do you want more joy? Do you want more things? Do you want more money? Do you want more, it doesn't matter what it is. Do you want more time? Do you want more forgiveness? What is it that would, and I look at all of them and then pick the one that would make the biggest difference in your life. What would bring you the most transformation, the most excitement, the most difference, whatever that is for you? What would bring that to you right now in your life if you had more of that, okay? So take a minute and close your eyes, or if you don't want to close your eyes, you don't have to, but just think about that. If you don't have it, pick one right now. Okay, and then open your eyes. And I want you to turn to somebody near you and share with them, what is that one thing that would really make a difference in your life if you had more of it right now? What is it? Why did you choose that? How would it make a difference? And also, most importantly, how could you give that to other people during this holiday season and the rest of your life? Okay? So I'm going to give you a couple minutes for that. Does anybody need a partner? Maybe go over to Joanne needs one.
Well, just recently I watched the Celsius houses again, and I had read the book, and what I got out of it was giving energy, consciously and deliberately giving attentive energy to other people, and them doing the same. So, and that when that happens, when it's like mutual, the effects are logarithmic. And if we all did this all the time, the effects would be golden.
Okay, if you haven't switch to the other person.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you say we're
totally
trying to move this whole mess into what we're doing now?
Yes.
My mom just
no.
You said what we want.
Right now you're talking about what you, oh yes, and how you can give that out into the world. So that you can get it.
Yeah, God. And here's your damn ring back.
I said, I'm not gonna say one thing about this real man. Because you guys are just so cool down, must have a lot to think about being religious. But she says, I just can't do it. That is a bad.
Okay, start to finish up.
Red flag there.
Flags are short. You don't need no man to believe in yourself or you enough. You know, to believe in you, find out.
Okay, can you please stop now? Come back to me. I need more of you up here.
Yes, mind Führer.
Oh, no.
That's the one problem, you get people talking to each other and they don't want to cut stuff, that's good. Okay, attention back up here, please. Oh, okay now.
Yes.
It's not.
No, teacher's
Is
talking.
there worst class I've ever had? Is there anyone who has something they really want to share with everybody?
Oh, I
They would
do.
like. Yes, go ahead, Michelle.
I was just sharing with Mark over here that the underlying needs, the surface need is money, but underneath that is freedom. I know that money is a tool. I did a practice where I had a left side of it, dreams and intentions, and the right side was a yeah but. And the yeah but had money and time, lack of both.
Right,
And so when I thought of money immediately as a single mom, I thought I really
right.
thought of money, and that's what I need to get to where I'm going. It's not really the money, it's the trust and the faith that higher power will lead me and guide me to find the freedom that comes with having the tool of money, if that makes
Awesome.
sense.
Awesome, that's perfect.
That's all I
perfect.
really need is
And
that trust.
did you see any ways that you could give that out into the world to
yes.
other people?
You know what, I did not discuss that layer, neither of us did. I regularly attend recovery meetings, and I've been giving to what's called the seventh tradition. So I believe in the energetic connection to that. So the money that I do have, I give out, or I give to others in need who are of higher need than I have. Like someone standing on the side of the road, I give them food because that's something that I have to offer. I may not be able to give them a lot of money, and that might not be as useful of a tool for them. What they're needing is something immediate. And so if something immediate is money, then and I have it, then that's fine. But usually, in short, I will give what I need or what I can.
Okay.
And if I give what I can, then I always receive something.
Okay,
Whether
very
it be
good.
a message or an actual bill.
And also, since the place where you're really looking for more in your life is freedom, and what was the other word you used? Freedom and
Freedom, trust and faith in the process.
trust and faith. So maybe also look for ways that you can help other people have more freedom in their life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or
thank
more
you.
faith.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. I'm
So
doing
that-
that with my daughter, actually.
There you go, there you go. Yeah, so that'll start to create it flowing back to you. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
And then, was that you, Stephanie? You moved.
Well, I just recently watched this movie, The Celestine Prophecy again,
Mm,
and I had read the book, and what I got out of that was this very conscious, very deliberate giving of attentive energy to other people when you're around them, and they giving it to you.
mhm.
And that when that happens, the effects are logarithmic, not just it's like boom. And so I want more of that. I want more of that.
And that being more conscious attention center
Yes.
direction?
Giving and receiving.
Very
of
good.
that.
Very good. Yeah, and as you give it, you'll receive it. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so yeah, that's the way it works, and that's why I wanted you to look and see how can you give that out, because as you give it out, it will come back to you. And Michael Bernard Beckwith said in his 40-day Mind Fast Soul Feast, which is awesome if any of you haven't read it, he said, God has a gift to give the world as you, beyond what your surface mentality may sometimes see. So there's more of you to give that God or the divine has said, this is what my gift to the world through you. And so it's giving of yourself. and giving consciously when you give a gift or when you give of yourself. And so when you think about that, you know, Stephanie mentioned one, you know, being more present, more conscious, and more intentional when you're talking to somebody or when you're listening. So you can more consciously give your listening to other people and give your love, your kindness. The other thing you can give is your time. And very often, if all of us say, I need more time to do this, or I need more time to do that, or if I just had more time, I could, you know, that sort of thing. But how much do you give of your time, even though it feels like I already don't have enough? But if you start to give some of your time, then it will come back to you. Now, what very often happens, how many of us have somebody say, oh, I'll come over and help you with that. Oh, no, it's okay. I can do it myself. Okay? So now we're going to switch over to receiving. That's when we start to block our receiving. We're not letting it come to us. You know, it's like, oh, it's great, I'll go and I'll help out and I'll do this and that, but then somebody says they'll help me move and people say no. You know, that it's just, don't block that flow, okay? And, you know, what has us start to block this? It's like sayings like, it's better to give than to receive. Well, that's not necessarily true because they're connected. So if you're not receiving, you're not going to have as much to give. Okay, if you're not giving, you're not going to have as much to receive. So they're very, very intertwined. The other thing that can happen is old family sayings or old adages that you've heard, like, you know, it's not good to be boastful, or it's not good to be conceited, and so you can't accept a compliment, or it's not okay to be overly opulent because people with a lot of money are mean, or, you know, anything like that that runs through, not necessarily on a conscious level, it could be on a subconscious level, still blocks our flow, okay? So, and it blocks in big ways and small ways. So it may block that you can't allow somebody into your life. You say you're looking for, you know, this wonderful unconditional love from a partner, but you can't allow that person in because unconsciously or subconsciously, you don't think you deserve it, or you're not going to be able to give enough back. Or you can't take that job, or, you know, you don't even apply for the job because it pays too much and you could never possibly be as good as that. You know, so I have or it could be as small as taking a compliment. And I have a couple of demonstrations I want to do. Barbara, would you come up and help me? I know you can do this for me. Can you come upstairs? Yeah. Okay, so the first thing. Okay.
Bev, you know what? You would be perfect for this job. I want you to come and work for me. I'll give you salary of $100,000 a year to start with, and I'd like you to start as soon as you can.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Is she nuts? $100 grand, I've never made that much money. They're going to expect so much from me. There's no way I could meet those expectations. Can I have a couple of days to think about it? I don't know how to let her down, and I don't know how I'm going to let me down, but there's just no way I can do this. I mean, I'll probably get fired. I got fired from a $20,000 a year job 25 years ago. I'm sure I'll get fired from this one. Okay, so let's take it. So, you know, it's like, we aren't saying that back to them, right? But that's what's going on internally on some subconscious level when we get scared. You know, it's exciting, and the first reaction is, yeah, just what I wanted. But is it good? Is it too good to be true? You know, there's one of our sayings, is it too good to be true? So just start being aware of those kind of things that pop up in your life. Okay, now, the next one, I'm going to tell you what I want you to do. So, I want you to pretend that this is a compliment. It's a gift you're giving me. Because compliments and acknowledgments and praise is a gift, okay? And I want you to give it to me as a gift. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly do that. No. It's too much. No, yeah. Now, how did that feel to you? Yeah, how did that feel to you? Oh, great, I'm fine, I think of myself, right? Thank you, Barbara.
My mother just gave me an example of this. Yeah, this morning I called her and she said she was invited for Christmas Eve at her grandson's house, and she said, and her first reaction was, "I'm not worthy. Why would they want me there?"
Right, right. I mean, if they pop up like that, and so we have to learn to manage them. Thank you, Barbara. So start practicing with the little things so that you can get up to the big things. But when somebody gives you a compliment, don't, we think it's like bragging if we say, "Oh, thanks," Just say, "Thank you." Take it in. Show the universe, show the divine that you are worthy of everything that comes to you, because there's only good in the world and it's all coming to you all the time, and we block it over and over and over. So you just want to keep allowing it in, even the little ones, okay? Watch yourself and watch when somebody says, "Wow, you did a great job," or "Thank you for helping me." "Oh, it's no big deal." We think that's being, I don't know what we think that's being, but we think it's the right way to be, and it doesn't allow that into us. Yes, did you have a question?
Can you address manipulators, though? Because there are some people who do say things for manipulative purposes. I do know some people involved in sales extensively, and they're trying to get you to either butter you up or to get 3 yeses of you before they ask you for money or what they want or something. So,
Maybe y'all could act it out.
Since I'm a salesperson.
well, to deal with manipulation,
Well, I would say, here's how I deal with.
not everybody does, but there are some
Right.
people who do it.
And that's where we could get into a problem, is if we assume everybody is doing that.
Right.
So I would say, assume everybody is doing their best, putting their best foot forward, that they care about you, they think you're important, they're doing it because they care about you. Now I can even tell you, as somebody who does sales, I'm always looking for what's going to improve this person's life. Is what I'm selling going to help them in some way? So I may ask them questions to find out what are their needs. So if somebody's asking what are your needs, that doesn't mean they're necessarily trying to manipulate that they may actually have something they want to help you with. So I would come from the place of everybody's out there wanting to do good to me because that's what I want coming to me is only good. And if they end up trying to sell me something I don't want, there's always no thank you. So just don't fall into it. And that's probably a whole nother topic, a whole nother talk, And if you want to talk to me some more about it afterwards, we can do that, okay? Okay, so here's a quotation from Living the Science of Mind. If we know that we ourselves are centers of distribution, giving, and centers of accumulation, receiving, and that the two are equally identical and interchangeable, and if we know that nothing interferes with this but ourselves, we are free to act as we would be acted upon. Okay, so when we know that it's us that's either blocking it or allowing it, you want to start acting in a way that allows it to come through and receive and give consciously. Okay? Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Give and you will receive, all of that. Now, this whole thing about giving and receiving consciously, Mother Teresa says it's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving. So even if you're giving, a box of cookies, give it with love. Give it consciously. Know that you want that box of cookies to make a difference in that person's life, and that the feeling of giving it makes a difference to you. And Brene Brown says, until we can receive with an open heart, we're never really giving with an open heart. That's why that receiving is so important and allowing it in. When we attach judgment to receiving help, we knowingly or unknowingly attach judgment to giving help. That's why we give our time, but we don't want other people to give time to us, because there's some judgment about whether we should be giving our time, or do I have the time to give? Okay, I have one last reading. It is also from this most amazing book. I use this every day, by the way. She has wonderful things. And the title of this one is Jesus, the Man, the Mystic. There was a simple man who lived more than 2,000 years ago. He was not a Messiah in his time, but rather a maker of spoons and bowls. He traveled in a radius of about 100 miles with a group of followers of scarce means. There was something so extraordinary about him, however, that to this day we are still learning from his teachings. For me, his life is a great inspiration primarily because he is a simple man of flesh and bone, and yet there was something he knew about himself that gave him great power as a way shower, and truth teller. What he did know about himself was that we can know about, is something that we can know about ourselves. He knew that he was a creation of God. He knew that he had direct access to the divine. He talked to God and was answered. He did not ever doubt his worthiness, nor did he doubt his role to speak the truth. We are all the beloveds of the divine. We are inspired by the great ones who have gone before us and great ones that are on the planet now. But we are never less than they. There is the same capacity in us, for greatness in each of us. There is the same capacity to leave a great legacy, but leaving a great legacy should never be our focus. Jesus did not even know the impact he would have on the world during his lifetime. He just followed his inner urgings, mostly inspired by the divine. Let us celebrate our own birth into a greater awareness of our divine identity as a beloved creation of God. Let us be givers, not just of material goods, but of the love within us. Let us celebrate by revealing and expressing the love we seek. And here's an affirmation I'd like you to repeat after me. I reveal and express all the love I am.
I reveal and express all the love I am.
I allow the light of God to illuminate my being.
I allow the light of God to illuminate my being.
I radiate the joy of God everywhere I am.
I radiate the joy of God everywhere I am.
And so it is.
And so it is.
What's next?
Thank you, Bev.
Thanks,
You're
Bev.
welcome.
Solo.
Yes,
So
no,
solos I keep missing.
and it's gonna be George this time, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Thanks, Bev.